stories of the night, President Duterte confirms to run as Vice President for 2022 elections. Philippine Food and Drug Administration grants Sputnik Light the single dose of Sputnik V. 2 weeks ECQ affects the downtrend of COVID-19 infection, says the Opta Research. Top LGUs in Metro Manila finish on cash aids distributions. Galvez confirms government not holding the tripartite agreement on COVID-19 vaccines procurement. Brings you the latest happenings here and all over the globe. Good evening, my name is Alvin Pelabello and this is Eurotv News. President Rodrigo Duterte has finally confirmed that he will run for the Vice President on the upcoming 2022 elections. On his Talk to the Nation public address this Tuesday, Duterte emphasized that he will continue his war on drugs campaign.
Gusto talaga ninyo? O sige. Tatakbo ako ng Vice Presidente. Then I will continue the crusade. I'm worried about the drugs, insurgency. Well, number one is insurgency, then criminality, drugs. I may not have the power to give the direction or guidance, but I can always express my views in public for whatever it may be worth in the coming days. Nasa Pilipino na yan.
This follows the release of Partido Demokratiko Pilipino Lakas ng Bayan or the PDP Laban confirming President Duterte accepts the offer of political party for vice presidency. President's longtime aide Senator Bongo has not yet confirmed that he will run for the president. Last month, PDP Laban has recommended Go Duterte tandem with Senator Bongo for the president and Duterte as vice president through a resolution. In a statement, Go says that he does not interested to run as a president and adding he will let first the others willing to run. National Task Force on COVID-19 Chief Implementer and Vaccine Czar Carlito Galvez Jr. has denied that the government withheld the signing of tripartite agreement for the private sector's procurement of COVID-19 vaccines. On Tuesday, Galvez said that it's not their desire to put on hold the tripartite agreement, but instead manufacturers are not interested having a multi-party agreement for some reasons.
Maraming nagkakalarify yung tripartite agreement at sinasabi po ng mga iba na parang ino-hold namin yung pagpapirma ng di po namin dinidelay. Ang ginagawa lang po namin is yung due diligence. Katulad po ng ginagawa ng DOH, ganun din po ang ginagawa po namin. Kaya po talagang gusto po namin na yung pera ng LGU at saka ng pera ng private sector, hindi po sila mapapahamak sa ginagawa po natin. Ang unang reason po ay sa marami pong mga manufacturer hindi po interested sa multi-party agreement kasi gusto nila isa lang ang kausap. Sabi kasi nila, pagka maraming kausap, it will entail an enlargement of their personnel.
Galvez clarifies that Sinovac, Pfizer, and Gamaleya are prioritizing the orders of national government due to constraints of supplies, while AstraZeneca and Moderna are no longer accepting orders of vaccines through multi-party agreements. Moderna and AstraZeneca were only talking to businessman Enrique Razon and Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship Joey Concepcion, according to Galvez. Johnson & Johnson and China's Sinopharm are not yet open for the multi-party agreements, while Bharat Biotech had a pricing and delivery issues. The tripartite agreements are being signed by the government before the private sectors can purchase COVID-19 vaccines. The Food and Drug Administration has authorized the emergency use of Russia's Gamaleya Institute COVID-19 vaccine Sputnik Light, the single-dose version of Sputnik V. FDA Director General Eric Domingo has confirmed this grant on Monday. According to Domingo, this Sputnik Light cannot be used as second dose for the recipient who already received the first dose of Sputnik V. Domingo emphasized that to the components of Sputnik V that is totally different from the component of single-dose Sputnik Light. The Philippines can now use two vaccines brands single-dose fully vaccinated aside from Janssen's Johnson & Johnson. According to Russian Direct Investment Fund, the single version of Sputnik V, the Sputnik-like, has an efficacy rate of 82%, while the Sputnik V had 91% efficacy rate against COVID-19 as a whole. Russia has approved Sputnik Light on May. COVID-19 vaccines made by Pfizer Incorporated and its German partner BioNTech had been given a full approval by the Food and Drug Administration of the United States to be used for people over the age of 16. It was the first ever approved COVID-19 shot. Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccines has been authorized for emergency use on December last year. Based on the data on Sunday, more than 204 million people in the United States had received this vaccine, and at about 51% of Americans had received full dose of COVID-19 vaccines. According to U.S. President Joe Biden, this approval should give an added confidence that these vaccines were safe and effective. Almost the same statement anchored by the U.S. FDA Acting Commissioner Janet Woodcock. Meanwhile, according to FDA Director General Eric Domingo, since this vaccine had given a certificate of product registration, the government's indemnification funds for those who suffers for an adverse effect due to these vaccines will no longer be in effect. Over 30 million Filipinos had received COVID-19 vaccines since the vaccination rollout of the government started. On the latest data of the National Task Force Against COVID-19 and Philippine Vaccine Tracker, there are more than 30.6 million vaccines administered. Of this number, over 17.4 million were the first dose recipient and over 13 million were fully vaccinated. NTF data shows there are almost 450,000 average daily jabs from August 1. Earlier this week, vaccine czar Carlito Galvez Jr. confirmed that there are at least 3 COVID-19 vaccine manufacturers who pledged to donate millions of vaccines to the Philippines. This unidentified manufacturers commits to donate more than 1.5 million jabs of Pfizer and 1 million doses of AstraZeneca vaccines. The government is targeting to inoculate more than 77 million Filipinos, or at least 70% of the population, to achieve the herd immunity. According to DOH Secretary Francisco Duque III, with this recent daily average of COVID-19 vaccines administered, the herd immunity will be achieved on the first quarter of the year 2022. After 2 weeks of the enhanced community quarantine, the Octa Research Group had seen a downtrend of the reproduction rate of the COVID-19 infections. From 1.9 reproduction rate listed last week, it drops to 1.53% from August 18 to 24. This data based on the latest monitoring of the Octa Research. Despite of this decrease, Octa Research still warns that this reproduction number are still in critical range. National Capital Region average new COVID-19 cases were more than 4,000 daily. On Wednesday, the Department of Health has recorded more than 13,500 new COVID-19 infections, while active cases counted over 125,000. 15,820 were listed as recovered. This brings the total recovery number to 1,725,218. More than 220 deaths added into a total of 32,492. The country now had a total of 1,883,088 confirmed COVID-19 infections. Since pandemic had begun, this is the 10th highest tallied daily cases and also the 15th straight day that newly cases listed more than 10,000. On Monday, Philippine Health Bureau has confirmed community transmission of the most contagious Delta variant of COVID-19 within the National Capital Region and Region 4A, the Calabarzon.
Definitely, I can tell all of you, Region 4A and NCR na andyan na po, no? We can observe that already, although we need further evidence, but there is community transmission already in these areas.
Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergara said more evidence needed to conclude that the same transmission happens over the country. The World Health Organization has advised DOH to check the situation of Delta variant in the regions. 466 Delta variant has been recorded along with 90 cases of Alpha variant, 105 Beta variant, and 41 Theta variant. This is a result of genome sequencing tested in 746 samples. Metro Manila had 201 Delta variant, 69 cases listed in Central Luzon, 52 in Western Visayas, 49 in Calabarzon, 19 in Central Visayas, 14 in Mimaropa, 11 in Davao Region, 7 in Cagayan Valley and Soxargen, 6 in Northern Mindanao, 4 in Bicol Region, and 3 in Ilocos Region. Caloocan City were among the local government units in Metro Manila who finishes their cash aids distributions along with the residents affected of the enhanced community quarantine. In the recent data of Department of the Interior and Local Government, Caloocan City has completed its 100% cash aids distributions. Following on the list were Pateros with almost 97% completion rate, followed by Manila City and Mandaluyong nearing almost 83% completion rate in cash aid distribution. According to Interior Secretary Eduardo Año, cash distributions for the affected individuals of 2 weeks ECQ will be extended until the end of August. With this, LGU can have enough time for the waitlisted beneficiaries who has not yet received their cash aids. Along with Metro Manila, LGUs of Bataan and Laguna continues their cash aids distributions. Laguna are currently at almost a 15% completion rate, while Bataan had distributed an amount of more than 1.2 million pesos towards their beneficiaries. Manila City Mayor Isko Moreno has recovered in COVID-19. On his Facebook post, a photo shows Moreno leaves Santa Ana Hospital in Manila. Moreno has been isolated in hospital after getting infected of COVID-19 on August 15. Meanwhile, Senator Nancy Binay renders self-quarantine after her mother, Dr. Elenita Binay, has tested positive in COVID-19. In a statement, Senator Binay says they are asking for continuous prayers for her mother's recovery, insisting that prayers are the first line of defense. Senator's mother has been experiencing mild symptoms, while former Vice President Jejomar Binay, her father, got negative results from the tests. The Armed Forces of the Philippines has conferred a military award to the Olympic medalist and soldier athletes, Staff Sergeant Heidelin Diaz and Sergeant Yumir Marshal. Diaz received an Outstanding Achievement Medal with second bronze anahaw leaf as the first ever Filipino to win an Olympic gold medal in the Olympic, while Marshal, as Olympic bronze medalist, received the Chief of Staff AFP Commendation Medal and ribbon. According to AFP Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Erickson Gloria, through this recognition, they can inspire soldiers and civilian human resource not only to be more active in sports but also in the performance of their respective duties and in protecting and securing the peace and stability of our country. So far, as of July 2021, there are a total of 128 military athletes and coaches who compete in various sport events, of which 23 are from the Philippine Army, 64 from the Philippine Air Force, and 41 from the Philippine Navy. Along with these two soldier athletes, silver boxing medalists Nesty Petesio and Carlo Paalam had a courtesy call to the President Rodrigo Duterte at the Malacanang Palace on Monday. These Pinoy Pride athletes received their incentives from the government as written under the Republic Act 10699 or the Sports Benefits and Incentives Act of 2001. And that has been the stories of the night, news stories you need to know. You can always check out our social media accounts for the latest happenings here and all over the globe. Thank you for joining me this evening. My name is Alvin Pelobello and this is Eurotv News.